Hey guys, this is Shadow from SG TCG. Today, bringing you guys the next round of the locals from game night. I ended up facing a Charlotte Pudding. I won dice roll and chose first, specifically to take away the ramping away from Pudding, but to give hopefully drawn to Zoro Joro. So I swing six, he counters for 2k, and I do get to play the Zoro Joro on curve, which is now my way of ramping. So opponent's looking at it, but yeah, Zoro Joro on attack ramps one active Don. Perfect for me. And if I had a Bond Clay next turn, it would be even better. But I passed turn to my opponent. They only have 4 Don right now. Um, Obviously, with my RP Luffy being at a 6k stat line, it kind of throws things off for my opponent than how they typically would play it. So I think my opponent's going to declare an attack and thinks that the attack's going to go through, but I do show him the card just so he could reread it, look over the leader ability, and see the attack stat, so he's not confused. But if you don't know, RP Luffy 6k stat line and can ramp at 0 or over 8 Don. So he ends up just swinging to use leader ability, and he's got a Ikoku Sovereignty, and then a Rush Ace. So Sovereignty's got a trigger for you discard 2 cards from your hand, add up to 1 card to the top of your life, or a counter card for 2 Don, plus 5k for the battle, which is pretty good. So he passes over to me. I'm going to attach 3 Don to my Zoro to swing for 7 to put pressure, but before I did that, the Brûlé, I read it over, but the Brûlé's got a KO ability where if it gets KO'd, it ramp a Don, so I'm going to use my 1-cost Robin from hand first to pop the Brûlé. And I do this just because no matter what, he's going to ramp a Don. So I'd rather let him ramp the Don, but I'm going to put pressure on his life. Swing 7 with the Zoro, so it's either going to give me 2 cards or take the life. And it ramps me an active Don, putting me at, I believe, 6 Don at this point. So he takes the life, and then here I swing for 8k to leader with the active Don that I just got from the Zoro. So again, putting the pressure on, no matter what's going to have to give me 2 cards here if he decides to counter out of it, which I believe he takes. Yep, so he takes the Rush Ace. I pass over to him. And again, we only popped the Brûlé just because no matter what he was going to ramp, might as well put the pressure on him so that it makes his Big Mom turns more awkward for him. So I passed the turn with 5 cards in hand. It's still a little tricky spot to be in for the Charlotte Pudding, because I believe right now with this turn he should be at 8 Don, which is pretty good ramp because he ramped with leader and then the Brûlé. So going second, that's already 2 Don extra, pretty much almost at the Big Mom stats, but already down 2 life, where a typical Pudding play would do the Katakuri and continue ramping. So here he's trying to figure out exactly what to do, because again, it's a tricky spot to be in. You can remove the Zoro, but no matter what, I already ramped enough to where I needed to be at. Next turn I will be at 8, and I could use leader ability to be at 9. All my top end is basically the 7-drop Kid, Rayleigh, and Newgate. So I'd be able to play any of the top end that I have if I have it in my hand. So he starts off swinging 6 to the Zoro, which is smart. Takes the pressure off his leader. And I forget what he plays out here, but he still has all 8 Don. I know he's going to save. He saves 2 Don for the event that he just got out of life. You see, here he goes. He's going to tap 4. Plays out a Kikunojo. That's what it is. Give him a second. Yep, Kikunojo goes. Kikunojo is not bad for the matchup just because it has a base stat line for being able to swing at my leader ability when it's at its base 6. Fortunately for him, I just play out a Newgate, which buffs my leader to 8k till the start of my next turn. So I did ramp with leader ability, putting it to 9. And now 8k to lead. He's going to counter out with that Ikoku Sovereignty, which puts him at 10k for the battle. But during this turn, I'm at 8. He's not going to be able to swing at me with any of his characters. So unfortunate for him. Here, I believe he's just going to play out a 10 Mom. And he's going to have to pass the turn. So he does get one of my life cards out with, obviously, Big Mom's ability, but doesn't get to put any pressure on me, which is why I'm able to keep a decently big hand. So ends up trashing Aurelia from life. Passes to me. You saw I just drew into a Diablo Jambe, so I'm not worried if I try to go for endgame. I do have a lot of counter in hand as well, so I'm not really afraid for the big moms. But I'm going to swing 10 at his life. He's going to take it, and he ends up triggering the event to search. Top 5, you're either going to look for Big Mom Pirates or Animal Kingdom, which you're mainly looking for your Big Mom Pirates. I don't think the only Animal Kingdom card you would potentially run is Conquest of the Sea. But other than that, I play my 10 drop. 10 drop on play, Don minus 10. Put everything on my side of the field at the bottom of the deck, and I give myself another turn. But I ramp with leader ability at 0 to go to 1, and then use the Luffy ability to rest that active Don for another active. So then pass turn. So now I get another 2 Don, and then I use that Luffy ability again, the rest one, and get another active. So already at 5 Don after playing this 10 drop is absolutely insane. I attach 2 Don. I'm going to swing 8. He takes it. Unfortunately, it's a 0 cost event. Perfect for me that he got it in his second to last life. Swing with that 10 drop Luffy, and he takes it because it's a 12k swing. And then I pass turn. I left 2 Don up specifically for rad beams. If he tries to go to knock out this Luffy, I have protection for it just because I do have Diablo Jambe, so I'm not too worried about blockers. So if he puts a lot of Don on the big mom and tries to swing for it, I want to make sure I am able to protect it. But at this point, this is a tricky part. If he decides to do big mom, he loses. Well, if he plays blockers, he loses, but he doesn't know that I have Diablo Jambe. So you're under the assumption that you're just trying to figure out how to survive next turn. If you play a big mom, there's a chance that you are able to trigger something, but it's not guaranteed. Like, he already has a 0 cost in the grave. Who knows what he has in his hand? But at this point, blockering up is the best decision, which you're going to see him do, while also swinging at my life to put some pressure and hope to God that I don't have Diablo Jambe. So my opponent is going to play it right. Big Mom is never the move in these types of situations, unfortunately for them. As you can see, he is thinking for a while, but it is a very, very, very tough spot for my opponent. So I do not blame them for having to think for this long. But I basically have it set up for no matter what happens. I do have 2 Diablo Jambes in my hand. I could split up the attacks if he was able to counter out of one of them. So he starts off with swinging with the mom. I have the counter to get out, but again, I'm just going to take it. I have 2 rad beams and 2 2Ks, which is 4, 8, and 12k counter. Don't know what I just drew. I didn't see it, but it could be a 1k, but regardless, it's 12k counter plus whatever I just drew. I think it's a 1k, so let's just say 13. And then he's gonna attach, I believe, 2 Don to Kikanojo, 2 or 3. I think it's 2, and he's gonna swing for 8. I'm gonna end up taking this. Again, I'm just baiting out whatever he's gonna swing at me because I know I can get out of anything he swings at me with. I was just hoping that he's gonna play out blockers and dwindle his hand a bit, which is why I was taking it. I didn't need to take that swing for the Kikanojo here. I could have just rad beamed out, but again, I want to keep whatever for the Luffy. But at this point, I'm just gonna take it to make it look like he has lethal, because if he didn't play out the blockers here and he just swung big with the pudding, I could have countered out and then just swung big at him, which is what I think I was trying to attempt here. But here he's gonna tap the rest of his Don. I think 3 and 5. He's gonna play out a Brulee and a Queen, and he does use Queen's ability to Don minus and draw 2 and trash 1, which is a good way to cycle out bricks in your hand and potentially find some more counter. But he's gonna pass the turn. I'm gonna just do the Luffy 10 drop ability, then leader ability to get the most amount of Don that I could use this turn. tap 1 for Diable Jambe, and then I'm going to slap it all on the Luffy, and I believe it's 19k total, and he does not have the counter for it. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.